Hey folks, so welcome. I just want to give you kind of a quick overview of Canva. Some of you might be familiar with it already, some of you might not. It is a nice free application that allows you to do a lot of different things. You can see, you can create documents, presentations, videos, social media posts, websites, all this kind of stuff. And we're going to focus on a very narrow subset of those features because this Canva is really aimed at people who don't know how to design. And they just want a template that they can grab and create something that looks good. And that's fine, but that's not really our purpose. I want you as much as possible to avoid using these templates and really create your own designs, think about your own typography, creating your own color palettes and that kind of stuff. That's how we are going to use this. It is nice because it's a free software. There is a in-browser version and a desktop version, which I'll show you. But you can use these templates as kind of inspiration or to get some ideas, but try to avoid them. And there's some interesting type combinations that you can start to play with, but really work on developing your own content for the purposes of this class. So when you create your account, this is what the homepage is going to look like. And you'll have some templates and your recent projects here. Over here in the top right, this is most of the time where we're going to go to create a design. Now, this will be your account info. If you click on that and you go down to get the Canva apps, that will allow you to download the desktop app. So sometimes in-browser apps can get a little glitchy the longer you work in them. So I would suggest downloading the desktop app. And depending on whether you're on a Mac or a PC, you'll see a different button here, but you click on that and download it and install it. And you should be good to go. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but I will. We'll probably work in the desktop app moving forward. So normally when you start a project, you will create a design. Now, for this first project, I actually have a template for you that we're going to look at. But normally I just want to kind of show you the interface. You'll click on create a design and you'll skip all this stuff. You'll come down here to custom size, and this is where you can kind of create your own stuff here. So right now you'll see I had 11 by 17 inches, which is kind of a standard poster size. So that would, if we were working on a poster, we would do that, click on create new design. You can adjust the measurements here. So if we're designing for print, it's probably going to be in inches, all right? If we're designing for digital graphics or screen graphics, we're probably going to want to use pixels, in which case, if we typed in 1080 by 1080, that's an Instagram post, that's a square. We'll be using that for one of our projects. So this is where you do that and you create your new design. I'll just go ahead and do that to show you how it looks like. And so then you'll get your workspace here. Now you can add pages, but this is your canvas. This is where you're going to start building stuff. And again, you're going to see all of these templates over here. And now, when you click on the Module 2 template link in Blackboard, it's going to open up this file. It's going to say, Daniel Livingston has shared a file with you, and you have to have your account ready. When you click on it, it's going to open this up. And what you're going to see is 4 pages, all right, with the same thing on each page, but you'll see the titles are different. What I want you to do, the purpose of this assignment is to start to understand how even the most basic visual elements can communicate when they're arranged in a certain way and using different sizes, weights, all this kind of stuff. So we have 3 circles and 3 lines. And I want you to manipulate these elements to communicate visually this concept. And I don't want you to use any sort of representational imagery. Like I don't want you to draw a scale or create a scale from these to represent balance. Now you can sort of take that idea of balance and visually represent it, but not outright drawing an object that relates to the concept. I want you to communicate the concept, if that makes sense. Now what you can do, you can resize any of these elements. You can adjust the value. I don't want you to add any color, but you can either adjust the opacity, which is over here, transparency, to make them gray, different shades of gray, or you could come over here and click on the color box and choose any of these shades as well, whatever you want to do it, but just avoid using any color at this point. You can resize these elements, all right? You can place them halfway off the page, or you don't have to use all of them. You can't use more, but you don't have to use all of them. Okay. These lines, you can make them longer. You can make them wider. I believe to make them wider, hold down the Shift key and you drag. I think that, let me see. How do I do that? Well, there is a way to make them wider. Oh, right here. Sorry. Line weight. So you can make it fatter, skinnier, however you want to do it. All right. You can move these elements by clicking on them and moving them. You can also select them and grab this little icon and move it that way. If you want to rotate them, you select the thing right above that and you can rotate it around. You can warp them if you need to, however you want to do that. But these are the elements that you're going to use to visualize these different concepts, okay? If you decide you don't need one of them, you can just hit delete. And then if you decide, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that, use these undo and redo buttons, okay? So undo will bring it back. Redo will do what you just undid. Sounds really confusing. You'll see up here there are shortcuts. So Command-Z or Control-Z on a PC is the usual undo command. And that's the same for all the Adobe programs, most Microsoft programs. It's pretty standard. Command-Z or Control-Z will undo, and then Shift Command-Z or Shift Control-Z will redo. All right, so let's take these elements and play around with them and see what you can do. So for example, if I just start moving these things around, does that look balanced? It does not. So how can I communicate the idea of balance or harmony using these elements by adjusting their value, their size, the relationships between them. And then once you get a composition that you're happy with here, go down to the next one. And okay, this one is unbalanced or tension. How do we create visual tension in this composition? All right. Then how do we create energy, an energetic feeling or a sense of movement? Okay. And then finally rhythm or flow and pattern. How can we create visual rhythm using these elements? Even this right here already has a little bit of visual rhythm. How can the goal is to make these communicate as clearly as possible, not to be ambiguous, okay? Once you get all four of these the way you like them, it auto saves for you, but you can always go to save by going to File, Save. All right, you'll see all changes are saved. Whenever you are done and you're ready to submit this, you're going to go to Download. All right, and then you're over here in this file, in this dialog, you're going to select PDF Standard. That's because this is a multi-page document and it'll put all the pages in the same document. PDF Standard. I would go ahead and check Flatten PDF just to make sure that it keeps everything the way it looks right now. Make sure that all pages is selected. And then click download and you'll get that file as a PDF to wherever you save your download files. And you're going to attach that and submit that to the assignment link in Blackboard. Okay, so email me if you have any questions about the nature of the assignment or technical stuff with Canva, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.